establish your brand, to really set yourself apart, you have to curate a story. People don't just want to buy from nameless faces. People want to buy from people.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about Shopify and how Shopify is helping Amazon brands diversify and grow beyond Amazon. We're also going to be talking about how to properly set up Google Ads and SEO. And we're going to be talking about Amazon Buy with Prime program. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to get into that. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Okay, like I said, today it's all about Shopify and how we can help your Amazon brand grow. Our guest is a friend of mine and the CEO and founder of Bluesoft Design, an e-commerce focused digital marketing agency specializing in both Shopify and Google space. He has been growing his agency for over the last 6 years and established one of the top rated trailblazing agency that is leading the way in the e-commerce space. He's also a self-proclaimed tech nerd, gamer, and he loves 2000 punk rock bands. So I was back in the 70, 80 punk rock, but I guess we'll have that debate. Which was better, the 80s punk bands or the 2000s? Anyways, today, my friend and very interesting guy, David Abraham. So before we get to David, let's have a word from our sponsor. I want to thank Jeff Schick Legal for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. You've probably heard on the podcast about Amazon suspensions. They're very real. It can happen at any time. And when it does happen, how do you get out of it? How does the little guy like you and me get out of these suspensions without paying an arm and a leg in legal fees? This is where Jeff Schick Legal is here to help. For a very low monthly retainer, for only $89, get access to Amazon attorney Jeff Schick. That's right. You can sit back, relax, enjoy that cup of coffee while listening to the Lunch with Norm podcast, knowing that you have an advocate and a partner in your business success. But wait, just mention Lunch with Norm and receive 50% off the first 2 months. Get the protection you need and visit jeffschick.com today. That's JEFFSCHICK.com. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome, David.
Hey, Norm. Thanks for having me.
No problems. Last time I saw you was in New Jersey.
Yeah, I think we were by the AMZ Powwow event, right?
Exactly.
I think it was David Dayan introduced us.
Yep. No, it was great, and I'm so glad. This is one of the reasons why I love going to events. You get to meet people and make new friends. So today, I like when we were talking, I was very interested in your field. First of all, Google was one thing, and then secondly was Shopify. So I can't wait to dig into this. We've got a lot of Amazon sellers that listen to this podcast, and they're stuck. They're a one-legged stool, and hopefully we can get them to take a look at different channels. So I guess the first question, David, is, how Shopify is helping Amazon brands diversify and just grow beyond Amazon.
Right. So that's usually the problem that we bump into with a lot of people that come to us wanting to look for websites or looking to start out is, they kind of get their start on Amazon and, it's just one channel. When you're trying to build a brand and you're trying to grow, it's all about diversification. So trying to branch out into other marketplaces and Shopify kind of acting as that gateway is super important. When you kind of get into that conversation with Shopify, sellers kind of get concerned and say, which one should I focus on? Should I focus on the Shopify space? Is that going to take away from my Amazon sales? And we like to think that these channels kind of work together to really help you establish your brand and grow. that Shopify is kind of acts like your own channel where you have the full control, where you can, exemplify your branding and, help push your promotions and, just you can help your Amazon store grow through Shopify. You can do fulfillment from, when people come and purchase through your Shopify store, they can, fulfill your orders through Amazon and help grow your Amazon sales channel. There's just so many ways that they play off of one another that it's important to establish both and really grow out to all other marketplaces, eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Walmart, whatever works within your audience and what you're trying to do. Diversification is the key.
Right, exactly, and there's so many reasons why you should be looking at other channels. First one is there's a lot of people out there that don't like Amazon. They don't want to buy off of Amazon. They don't want to support Amazon. So, and it's customers who just have never gone to Amazon. There's still people out there that have never bought off of Amazon. So we're talking people in Google that are just taking, like, looking under Google searches. But those are just a few reasons. Plus, making it so easy to really diversify and grow your brand. And like you said, the ability for your brand to really stand out. When you build a site that really talks about your brand, and it's all about you, and it's what you believe in, and it's your brand culture, that goes a long way than having an image on a white background, that there's 32 on one page, and this is where you stand out. The hardest part for this is that, like, it's not like Amazon, because you've got a captivated audience who wants to buy. You've got to go and find those sales. And if you don't do it right, you're going to be spending a lot of money on shipping charges because you don't have the volume that Amazon has. So we're going to talk about some of that today. So anyways, I don't know if you have anything more to add to that.
Well, just that, I agree with you in that sense that to really establish your brand, to really set yourself apart, you have to curate a story. People don't just want to buy from nameless faces. People want to buy from people. And there is kind of like that growing revolution of, going back and buying from the source as opposed to buying on Amazon. People feel like buying directly from the brand is more genuine, that there's more, control there, that there's more safety there. They feel like they get their warranties registered, their purchases are protected, and it is important to go after both audiences, the ones that are shopping on Amazon and the ones that aren't.
Right. And what's the biggie? So what everybody does not have on Amazon is you don't own the customer. And on Shopify, that's all about the customer. You get their email, which means, and this is according to Post Purchase Pro, talking to Sean Hart, 44% of his sales are made from post purchase. How do you do it? You got to have the customer list. If you don't have it, guess what? That 44% is not going to happen.
Yeah. That's the money maker, is when you're buying that customer,
Yeah.
what you can do with that information. There's so many possibilities, and so many people, they think that when they're advertising on Shopify, when they're advertising on Google to build their Shopify sales, and an average cost per sale is higher than it would be on something like Amazon. Part of that conversation that I have with our clients is, looking just beyond the short term and really looking for the long term brand growth. Because when you own that customer, you can start blasting out emails, you can start retargeting audiences, you can run text campaigns, you can do so many things with that customer information and really build them into a recurring customer, introducing rewards programs and, really getting them to come back so it goes beyond just a one-time sale.
Right. And the next question is going to be talking about, well, when I go out to events, I hear this, that people are worried about driving ads, the cost of ads, not having that audience. People have not done this before. So, and by the way, I know we're going to be talking about Google in a second, but I got to let everybody know this was really weird. So David's sitting in the audience and I'm talking about Google, and I'm sitting there going, oh man, I hope I don't screw up. I hope I didn't say anything wrong. I hope I got all my facts right. And so I went up to him afterwards and I said, did I do it? Because usually I don't have other people that are really into Google in the audience that I know of. But this time I'm looking down at him. I'm going, oh my gosh, I hope I'm doing it right. So I think he gave me a thumbs up. But
Oh yeah, that was a great talk. And you actually taught me something that I didn't know, and that was that Google is actually indexing Gmail emails, which blew my mind
yeah.
because in all the years that I've been doing this, I never heard anyone mention that, and that was really like groundbreaking to me. So that was definitely an excellent talk.
Oh, thanks. So, and now, I mean, this is a great segue into the next question, is about building that shop store and properly setting up your Google ads, specifically Google Shopping and SEO. You want to get into that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the important thing to know is that Google Shopping and Google Ads is not always a win for everybody. So when you're starting out, we try and qualify people first to see if Google Ads might be the right approach. Because a Google Ads campaign can fail for a number of different reasons. Sometimes your price point is too low and the cost per sale, it doesn't, make it worth the advertising campaign. Sometimes it's a seasonal product. Sometimes you're dealing with negative reviews. Maybe your site's not trustworthy enough. So the first thing that we do is we really try and make sure that you're in a position to be profitable on Google Ads. Usually, the type of return that we try to see on Google Ads for a Shopify store is usually an average is about 3 to 4 times return on ad spend. But you know after we kind of qualify somebody, then we start off by optimizing their site and optimizing it for conversion to try and place it in the best position possible when running the ads. And that's done side by side with the account setup, and then we start running the ads, start reviewing, start tweaking, optimizing until we kind of get into that rhythm where we see that return and then just grow from there.
So there's different niches that are going to be on Shopify, and we've got Google, we've got a whole bunch of other paid ad platforms. Does it depend on the niche, or can you just play around and experiment with each of the platforms?
So there are some situations where certain niches are better than others for certain types of ads. Google Shopping is usually good for your straightforward e-commerce, your typical just you're selling goods, looking, you have a certain price point, and that's pretty ideal for Google Shopping. Like we've seen some people who offer service businesses but still in the form of an e-commerce site where that might not be a great fit, because the intent is different with Google Shopping, where a service business might be better with something like a text ad. For example, we're working on a client now for an SEO campaign that does party rental equipment, and they're set up on Shopify, and they kind of have it set up where you can just pick out your goods and set your date. But that might not be something that is a good fit for Google Shopping. So we might do something like Google Text Ads if they wanted to do paid ads. And then there's the SEO route, which is also great for a number of different reasons, because that's one of the only few types of advertising that is a fixed rate as opposed to a pay per click, because it's all labor based. There's no actual platform. But you might also have social media, which I personally am not a huge fan of social media for direct to consumer advertising. you'll find different people that have differing opinions on this.
Mhm.
Um, I don't really love it because I feel like the intent is not always there, like it would be with something like Google. Um, and you also have Apple cutting down on the cookies and the tracking, which make it harder to remarket to. But you can also make a case where if you have a product that is a unique product or unique service that doesn't have a lot of search volume around it, you can use social media to target your audience just based off of interest and educate them on a product that didn't exist. So there are definitely a lot of cases where different platforms are better suited for different types of products and services.
What about price point? Is there a specific price point that you should be at least at?
So
That was really
that
great English, by the way.
that's all right. As long as I can understand it, it's all that matters. Um, So you'll find differing opinions. It's kind of a loaded question. The price point that we try to see uh, when we're bringing someone on for Google Ads is usually around $60 plus. When you're comparing it to Amazon, it's a different experience for the average cost per sale. And again, it's because you're buying the customer, you're not just buying the sale. And we try and see that decent return on ad spend, that 3 to 4 times return on ad spend. But with the clients that we've had in the past, we found it very difficult, no matter how good our ads team has been and how much we're able to optimize our ads, to really make it profitable when under that price point. So usually about a 50 to $60 average sale order value is what we try to hit. But there are a lot of cases when a customer's or a client's site that's selling goods that are, let's say, $20, $30, there are different things in the optimization stage that we can do to try and bring up those average order values. So if you have like someone, let's say, that's selling shoes and $20 a pair, we might be able to set up bundle deals or upsells or cross sells and different things to try and get that average order value up
Right.
and make it worth it to still do Google ads, even though your typical item is lower than that price point.
That's interesting that you said that price point at around 50 to $60 being the minimum. I had another really good friend of mine, Minot Gregoire, come on, and he was saying for Facebook, he's an expert in Facebook ads, and he said almost the exact same thing. So the difference too is if you have recurring product, right? So if you have a recurring product, uh, I don't know about you, but I'm willing to spend a lot more to get that in front of somebody so that they will buy my brand. If my brand doesn't suck and I get that in front of somebody and they use the brand, then I know they're going to be coming more. So it might change that. But I do like what you said about just bundling things together. So we know that with my soap, it's $10. That doesn't fit the bundle. So exactly like you said, there's a 3-pack or there's a 5-pack or there's a gift set, something to get it out in front of people. So you said you also, I was interested in hearing more about why you're not that interested in social media. Like that is one of the areas that we always are trying to explore. Our latest is Pinterest, but Facebook is harder. TikTok's out there, YouTube, with their pre-rolls and what they're doing now. How come that's not a one of your uh, premium sources?
Right. So I probably should pull away from saying, from having such a strict stance on them. It's more of a personal thing that, really early on in my career and when I started this agency, I tried to be a master of everything. I tried to
Mhm.
say, what's a digital marketer? It's a guy that offers everything. It's the website, it's the maintenance, it's the social media, it's Amazon, it's everything. And I realized that I couldn't be a master of everything. You know that old saying, "Jack of all trades, master of none."
Right.
And after a while, I really decided to scale back and focus on the things that I really excelled in. And I tried experimenting in the social media space, but I found it continuously harder and harder to really um, do direct to consumer sales through social media. And again, not to say that it doesn't have its purpose, but when you look at it from an intent standpoint, if someone's going to Google Shop, if someone's on Google Shopping and they're searching for gloves, and you have an ad for gloves that you're running, and they see your ad and they click on your ad, they already have the intention to buy gloves. They're already geared to go. It becomes a lot easier to make that sale. And on social media, something on Facebook, something on Instagram, you know, people are looking to interact with their friends, their family, they're commenting. And, you have to try and work twice as hard to really try and get your ads in front of the right people and convince them to buy. Whereas with Google, they're already looking to buy. And usually on social media, they're not really converting on the first click. They come, they click, they take a quick look, they leave, then they see a retargeted ad. They say, "Oh, I remember this guy." They go, they come back, maybe they sign up for the newsletter, they leave. And it ends up becoming a lot more clicks and a lot more convincing. Whereas with Google, you kind of have that intent right at the gate. And, I'm more in favor of using social media more for brand awareness,
Mhm.
kind of in the later stages of, the overall campaign when you're really trying to get your name out there, and it's more about name recognition, brand recognition, and, kind of enforcing a little bit more legitimacy, building up your audience, and, building up those recurring sales. That's when, at least with my formula, that's when it kind of comes into play. And I do believe that social media, there is power in social media, and that there are those out there that can really utilize that power. But I've always found it to be a little bit more difficult than something like Google. So that's kind of why I hitched our bandwagon to Google.
Okay, very good. So we're going to be taking a break very shortly, but anybody who's listening right now, we're going to be talking about something that everybody's talking about, and that's with Shopify, their Amazon's Buy with Prime program. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. We're going to dive deep into this. So if you know people that are interested in Shopify or have an Amazon account that want to, or have a Shopify account that want to use this program, we're going to get into it right after after our commercial. Now, the other thing, are you using Shopify? And give us a comment. Is it performing the way that you want it to perform, or does it suck? Tell us why. One other thing, I've been seeing a couple questions coming in, and we will be getting to the questions towards the end of the podcast. It'll be at the top of the hour. So just hang in there and we'll get to all of them. Okay. I think we're almost ready to go over to hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag two people, and you'll enter twice. So that's everybody who knows what that is. If you don't know Wheel of Kelsey, you'll be seeing something special at the end of the show. So what I need you to do is to just type in hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. And if you tag two people, you'll get a second entry for our giveaway today, which is an awesome giveaway. And David, why don't you tell everybody what the giveaway is?
Absolutely. So we would like to set up one lucky winner with a Buy with Prime setup. So we'll talk a little bit more about Buy with Prime, but it's an invite only program that fortunate enough we have access to. And we would like to set up a lucky winner with a Buy with Prime setup.
So check it out. You might not, I mean, this might be one of the few chances you get to get in to Buy with Prime because, like you said, it's an invite only program. So I think that's pretty awesome. And we're going to top that up with either a tariff terminator or a free pallet over at Honu. So we're going to double that the prize up today. So it's either the Honu package, which any of our listeners know what Afalabi is giving away. And we're going to top it up with this incredible prize today. So it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag two people, and you'll get a second entry. All right, Kels, let's go to a call out. A big thank you to our sponsor, Post Purchase Pro. the only complete A to Z done for you real email and text marketing service built specifically for Amazon sellers. Post Purchase Pro creates all of your digital assets 100% for you, from marketing inserts, complete sales funnels, email follow up sequences, and weekly email promotions. They manage and optimize everything for you to drive more sales, get higher ranking, and receive more reviews on Amazon. So check out Post Purchase Pro now to see if you too will see enormous growth like their nearly 500 clients worldwide. That's Post Purchase Pro at postpurchasepro.com/lunch. One other thing, just before we get started again, just wanted to give you a bit of an update. So we have started Lunch with Norm deals. We do have 3 followers now, only 909 or 99,997 followers to go to meet the challenge. But and also Kelsey has joined me on this challenge. So we are going to be dueling back and forth, millennial versus old guy, and give our opinions on these products. So if you'd like to join us on that, help us out with our challenge, just stay tuned. We'll be giving you updates on a regular basis. Okay, so David, let's talk about Amazon Buy with Prime program. So this is what I've heard, that Amazon doesn't like the program. Amazon has shut it down. That's the news that I think is the rumor out there. Let's clarify this.
Yeah, I right now, to the best of my knowledge, Amazon is really leaning into this program. They're trying their best to really push it out there and working with agencies like us to really get it adopted. And I think it's a really fantastic program. I was one of the skeptics really early on until, I met with Amazon and they kind of broke it down to me and really showed me what the intent is behind it. And, I really am a firm believer in the program.
So what is the program?
So essentially, it's Amazon's way of kind of taking a little bit piece of sales off of Amazon. Amazon kind of realizes that they can't just take over the entire e-com world. So they're trying to lean into it the best they can. So it's essentially setting up your direct to consumer store and funneling your orders that come in from the D2C store um, and having them fulfilled through Amazon. So the big benefit is that you're really bringing prime benefits to your direct to consumer store. So things like Amazon support, Amazon live chat, 1 to 2 day shipping, all that comes with an order that's placed through the Buy with Prime program.
Okay, so I've got a soap product that is listed on Shopify, and I want to use, so I guess I use them as my warehouse then. So I ship my product all over to Amazon. They become my warehouse. And then with the program, it's very similar. The pick and pack charge are the same, but you also get advantage of the incredible shipping savings as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's really the big drive for this is that they're giving normally when you're doing merchant fulfilled Amazon, um, you're usually only getting 3 to 4 days shipping, I believe it is. But with this new program, you are getting 1 to 2 days shipping, but with the 3 to 4 days shipping rate. So that's really one of the big draws to this. In addition to just the conversion rate boost that people are seeing. You get a special button on your product page that says buy with Prime. People see that, people see the Amazon branding and just automatically, trust it. They know that they know the guarantee that they get behind the Amazon promise. So people are seeing big boosts in conversion rates. They're offering, these bigger incentives, these shipping boosts, and overall the response seems to be pretty positive.
What about shipping, long-term shipping, or sorry, storage rates, like all the little charges that we find in our Amazon statements at the end of the month? Are they charging long-term storage, or do you just send over a pallet at a time and don't worry about it?
That I can't really speak to because that's more involved in the intricacies of Amazon and the pricing. They get very reserved when it comes to divulging too much about the pricing. So I can't say for sure. We usually help with the onboarding process, and
Mhm.
then, an agent will come and break down the pricing individually. But the big thing is, like, for people, a lot of people have already been doing MCF, through other means, through things like Seller Cloud and Listing Mirror, where, they're already funneling those orders through Amazon. And this is kind of the new Amazon standard. That's essentially what they're trying to establish here.
Okay, because yes, they do have MCF right now, multi-channel fulfillment, and so this is different than multi-channel fulfillment, correct?
It's actually not. This is multi-channel fulfillment the Amazon way. This is the way that they want to handle multi-channel fulfillment. I believe the rates are relatively the same as far as, they I believe that they have three different rates that are involved. It's the actual shipping rate itself, the cost for the service, and then there's a third rate. But I've been told there's not really any difference between um, the rate setup of the old MCF way and this new way, other than you're saving on those shipping rates because you're getting 1 to 2 days shipping.
Okay, so if you have any questions about Prime, just let us know. Throw them into the comments section. Now, let's talk about SEO, conversion rate optimization, and why it's so important to website. Do you have any tips for us?
Sure. So SEO is super important, and it really is the long-term advertising game, but it's the best bang for your buck. So really working hard to build very informative, um, you know, long keyword content. You know, usually we try and do like 1,500 to 2,000 words of blog, pictures, images, but really just building informative content that people are looking for, is the most important thing that Google is trying to promote here. Content that educates people, that speaks to your target audience, things that they can interact with. Very, very important. And trying to build relationships. The backbone of SEO is link building, is
Right.
getting other reputable sites to link back to you. And fortunately enough, over the years of doing this, we have a series of linking partners that we work with, that we exchange content for, reputable links, legitimate links. Um, but that can be one of the biggest struggle when it comes to SEO, is building up those links. So putting out real good, authentic content, building your relationships, trying to earn those links the right way from other sources really helps build up your reputation on Google. Very important.
Right. Very good. Kelsey, it looks like we have a bunch of questions. Do we want to get into them now? I can't hear you, son.
We'll start jumping into them now. Yeah, we have a couple. Let's start with one from Chuck. With Buy with Prime, would you miss out on collecting emails? Is that correct?
Uh, no, that is not correct, and that's really one of the big things that Amazon is really trying to um, showcase here. Is when you have this service, you still own all the customer data.
Right.
And Amazon actually has kind of like this little mini automation setup where even after someone uses Buy with Prime to make a purchase, all the order information and everything syncs back to Shopify. So it'll appear in the Shopify backend like a regular Shopify order, and you'll still have access to all the information just as you would if someone just placed the order through Shopify itself.
And that's one of the reasons why I got so excited when I heard about this program, because you get all the advantages of owning the customer, having an incredible, aesthetically pleasing site. It's you put your spin on your site, and you get the benefits of Amazon and their fulfillment or their Prime program. So, anyways, I'm definitely going to check this out. But Next question, Kels.
All right. The next question is from Luke. I've heard that when I'm working with an influencer to have their affiliate link go back to my Shopify over Amazon, but then I then can link to Amazon with a button or something to that nature. I do not fully understand the whole thing. Do you have any insight on this?
S- So you can use analytics to keep track of affiliate links. It can be kind of difficult when you're, tracking a link to your site and then going back to Amazon because sometimes you have these parameters that get added to the links that kind of get lost along the way. So it can be kind of difficult. There are certain apps out there that you know um, do specialize in this. Um, the truth is that we've set up affiliate links and affiliate programs back to the actual Shopify store itself, but to track the influencer attributed to the Amazon sale through Shopify can get a little bit mucky. So just to be careful with that. But with the right kind of setup and the right kind of tracking, it should be possible.
Couldn't you do that just with a unique code? Like if you had an influencer and it was XYZ10 and for the Shopify listing, I'm not sure I understand the question 100%, but if I do, you're trying to figure out the influencer, the code, and then tracking it back to Amazon. Could the link back to Amazon's a no-brainer, but if you're tracking the influencer, it could just be XYZ10, and then you'd have a report showing which promo code was used, correct?
Well, in the traditional sense, unless I'm misunderstanding the question, also, yes, in the traditional sense for a Shopify store, that's how you would keep track is you can create a promo code unique to them. They blast it out to their audience, and then you just know that whoever used that promo code came from that influencer. Um, that would be the standard way of doing it with the normal
Right.
Shopify store.
Okay. Next question, Kels.
Okay, let me see from Howard. How effective is it to add Amazon Pay to your Shopify site when you already offer Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover, PayPal, Apple Pay, etc.?
So I wouldn't necessarily say, whether effective or, one versus the other. Essentially, it's just giving people another way to pay. It doesn't really take away or hurt anything. You just always will have people that'll have different preferences.
Mhm.
I remember installing Amazon Pay on a first store thinking, why would, people install it. I'd never really heard of anybody using it, and it was very different than something like the Buy with Prime. It was really just a payment processor for them. But I was surprised to see people using it at the end of the day. It's the same as offering something like PayPal or Google Pay or Apple Pay. It's just a convenience thing and being able to make things as easy as possible for your audience and kind of stupid proofing your website by any way you can is always going to help you. So I wouldn't necessarily discount Amazon Pay. It's just another alternative that you're offering your clients.
All right. Next question.
Okay, next one. It's more about drop shipping, but how are you finding Shopify drop shipping? Is it profitable? Should people look into it, or has this trend come and gone?
I think that drop shipping, the problem with drop shipping is that it became too synonymous with like a get rich quick scheme. That people think like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna set up a quick and easy Shopify store, throw up a template, source some easy products or a couple bucks that everyone else is buying, and just sell them. And I actually tried early on in my career experimenting with that same idea. Number one, to see if something like that would work, but also just as maybe a little bit of source of side income. But the truth is, it doesn't work. It kind of circles back to, you know, what I mentioned earlier, which is that people want to buy from people. They don't want to buy from nameless faces.
Right.
You have to establish yourself as a name, establish yourself as a brand, and you know, drop shipping can still be extremely profitable. You know, you have to be selective on where you're sourcing from. You have to be um, you have to pretty much analyze all different parts of the process, how long it takes to ship, the quality of the goods, how easy it is to communicate with your sources. Do you want sourcing from a million different people or from two or three select people so that you have a little bit more control? But it's just like any other business. You still need to present yourself as a trustworthy brand. You still have to build reviews. You still have to establish trust and establish believability, and you still have to still have to convince people to buy from you. But as far as profitability, it can definitely still be profitable if it's done right.
All right. Next.
All right. That's pretty much it for
No, it's
questions
not.
comes.
Watch. Look at the bottom.
That's a comment from a follow-up, but we answered that already.
It looks like there's a question, isn't there, from Chuck?
Yeah,
Or is it just
we
me?
covered that one.
Maybe I'm an old guy.
We covered that one already.
All right. Very good then. You are on top of it. I was just testing you.
So you got a second set of eyes.
Exactly. All right. So let's see if you have any other questions. Please throw them into the comment section. It looks like my question was somewhat muddled. Okay, let's see what that says. Kelsey, you want to get to that one?
Yeah, from Luke, my question is somewhat muddled because of my understanding of what I was asking is somewhat muddled. Oh, thank you for the info. It does actually help.
Okay,
All right.
Very good. All right, so first of all, David, how can people get a hold of you?
So the best way is through our website, bluesoftdesign.com. Our contact info is on there. That's the best and easiest way. You can call us anytime, 9:30 to 5:30 Eastern time. We're always in the office, always answering emails, however you'd like.
All right. And this is our last chance to get in on the giveaway today, which, David, explain it again.
So we're going to set up one winner with the Buy with Prime program for anyone that's selling on Amazon and Shopify. We'll help set you up with that program, get you all good to go. And yeah.
Very good. So enter it. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people. You get a second entry. Kelsey, let's go to our last sponsor. I want to give a quick shout out to an incredible group of sponsors that help us produce this podcast for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lunch with Norm would not be possible without the support of the following sponsors: Post Purchase Pro, Clear Ads, Goldstein Law, Honu Worldwide, Extreme Power, Jeff Schick Law, Netfluence, Startup Club, and Dragonfish Brand Management. Thank you, and you're awesome. Now back to the show. Okay, let's head over to the wheel.
Oh, before that, I have a question for David. So from your bio, you're saying that you were into the 2000s rock punk bands. What's your number one band? What do you go to?
I was a big, and still am, a big Blink-182 fan.
All
That
right.
was like my go-to. And I appreciate all types of music. I got music all under the sun, but Blink-182 was a favorite, and I actually got tickets to see them in concert with my wife next year, and I am super psyched.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's head on over to the wheel. Here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Alrighty, thank you everyone who entered the Wheel of Kelsey today. Let me just make sure there's no lead entries. We got from Luke, yes to Blink-182. We've got another Blink-182 fan. And let's shuffle these up. If you are the winner, please email me, kate@lunchwithnorm.com. We do this every podcast, and looks like Howard is today's winner.
Perfect.
Congratulations, Howard.
So Howard, you know what to do. Just email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com, and I'll get your info over to David, and we'll be good to go.
Looking forward.
All right, David. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was very interesting talking about Shopify. Love to get you back and talk even more about Shopify. So again, thank you. I'm sure everybody learned something. Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcasts, click over here.
Lunch with